Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce Smooth Sack Summer.
Yeah.
Sack.
Smooth it out.
When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from pubes to bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest ever. You know, you can stay cool while being hot.
Yeah.
You know
you could, don't wink at me. I didn't like that.
No, why not?
I'm coming up with Manscaped products. The bag, they should call it the Gooch Pooch.
Stop it.
What?
Oh, no.
Well, why don't we just call it what it is? Why don't we just call it what it is? The Platinum Package 5.0 Ultra, correct?
The bag you're talking about is the Shed, is what they call it.
The Shed.
I prefer the Gooch Pooch.
The new one is the Shed 2.0. The old one was kind of a leathery one. It's like your dad would have. So they have the Shed 2.0 now, which is like a hard case, which I really like.
Oh, I like that.
So they have this thing. It's the Platinum Package 5.0 Ultra, and it comes with everything. The lawnmower, the weed whacker, crop soother ball aftershave lotion, crop preserver, anti-chafing ball deodorant, magic matte disposable shaving mats, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner with Steve likes, body wash, body buffer, deodorant, boxers, and the Shed.
The Pooch. The Gooch.
Listen, I'm telling you.
It comes with everything.
If you want 20% off of that, and basically, listen, if there's somebody in your life that you know that needs a trim anywhere on their body, you can tell. Just look at their arms. Are their arms at knuckles hairy? Then they're hairy everywhere else too. Yeah, that's right. I see it. I see it, Steve. Also, it's a great. Jesse, you highly recommend the beard trimmer.
Yeah, the beard trimmer is my favorite thing in the universe.
Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. It's 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and you use that promo code DANGLE. Summertime, and the trimming is easy.
Jesse, the crop?
Preserver.
Words are hard. Let's start the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Just a reminder that we will be live tomorrow night in Stouffville. And I want to say something very cool about this particular Stouffville Boston Pizza. If there are tickets left as of the time of this posting, they will be at the link in your description, whether you're listening on audio or you're watching on video. And the owner of this particular Boston Pizza is none other than Keith Acton.
Whoa!
Keith Acton, former NHL player. Keith Acton, Leafs assistant coach from, I think, 2000 to about 2010.
Wait a minute. What head coaches would he have been an assistant under?
That's right, Stephen. Pat Quinn and
Paul Maurice.
And he's going to come on the show.
Wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is very... Oh, wait, he is?
Yeah.
That's breaking news to all involved.
Yeah.
That's great.
Isn't that great?
Cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Keith Acton's got a Stanley Cup with the Oilers in 1988.
He does.
Do you think he has his Stanley Cup ring with him at all times?
Oh.
Like when he's just working the Boston Pizza?
I'll be honest, my history with
around.
rings, I wouldn't.
No.
He uses it to stamp every pizza.
Could we get him to bring it out?
I will email them and see if Keith will bring his Stanley Cup ring.
You know, I'd like to ask him a couple questions about what it's like winning a Stanley Cup in Edmonton.
With Gretzky.
Nah, that's not who I want.
No, you don't want to talk about. You
No,
want to talk about
the rest
Messier.
of the team.
Messier, huh?
No, not Messier.
No?
Vancouver, great. Mark Messier.
That's right.
Gretzky's last cup. He never won another one without Acton.
That's, you know what? Not enough is made about that. And I think that's what you should ask.
Never
Keith.
won another one.
Like, Keith, Gretzky never won another cup without you. How do you feel about
What was he missing?
What was he? Where do you think he went wrong? I think it'll be interesting. We'll talk about winning the Stanley Cup. We'll talk about, what it's like to coach under Paul Maurice 20 years ago.
Well,
but still.
who do you want to win? The team that you won a cup with or the guy who you were a coach with?
Oh, that's a good question, too.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I ask great questions.
That's going to be fun.
Craig Simpson, Craig McTavish, Jeff Bukaboom, Kevin Lowe.
Jeff Bukaboom rule.
Some of the other names. Grant Fuhr, some of the other names on that 88 team.
Oh, yeah.
Along with Acton. That's who I want to hear
The
about.
all-name
Yari
team.
Curry.
Yeah, really good name team.
I feel bad. Jeff Bukaboom is one of those guys that I really, you know when you grow up and you irrationally like players and you're like, I don't even know, like Steve Larmer. I irrationally liked Steve Larmer.
Jeff Bukaboom.
Jeff Bukaboom was great, and then he got absolutely torpedoed in the head and never could play again. It's a bummer because that guy was a really, really good player.
I think it helps to have a name that's fun to say.
That Zarly Zalapsky
Could
Best
you
name.
tell me anything about his name or about his game? No, you liked his name.
played for the Calgary Flames.
Dude, do you think Lonnie Bohannes would have the same place in Leaf lore if his name wasn't Lonnie Bohannes?
No. But Lonnie Bohannes, every time they called him up, that guy scored.
Yeah.
And then they sent him down. Because they didn't want depth scoring at that point. They're like, no, we need more fists.
Well, and who was the other guy who used to do that? Jeremy Williams. Boo.
Boo. Ben Andres.
Ben Andres is a little bit better. Lonnie Bohannes.
Yeah.
Hey, that rolls off the... Hey, let's talk about Lonnie Bohannes. Hey, you guys want to talk about Jeremy Williams?
Nah.
Boo, fart.
Mike Craig.
Jeff Bukaboom, first round pick, 19th overall in 1983. He's got 3 Stanley Cups, 2 with the Oilers, and he followed Messier to New York and won that 94 Rangers Cup with him.
Another guy who Gretzky was missing. And look at that birthplace, Ajax, Ontario. Let's go, Jeff Bukaboom.
Career total of 30 goals.
In 804 games.
He's a good player.
And 3 cups. So get stuffed. 3 cups. I like, is that a new feature of Hockey DB where they put the trophy next to the...
It is.
Oh, trophy emoji?
Yeah, I've never noticed that before. Because he won 3 with the... 2 with the Oilers, 1 with the Rangers, and 1 with the Greyhounds. You missed the Greyhound.
Yeah, you want to talk
Why was Bukaboom never a Leaf?
By the way,
Dubas wasn't around yet.
This is how silly the AHL and NHL used to be. The Nova Scotia Oilers. Why would you have an AHL team if you're the Edmonton Oilers in Nova Scotia? That sounds like an outrageous amount of money.
I mean, how would the prospects get there? You know, Adam?
It would be the airplane, but I think the point is...
How would they get there, though?
If you could save the money.
Yeah, but how would they get there? That's a deep cut podcast reference. Cut. I don't even remember who we're talking about.
I don't either, but I remember we were like, well, I'm sure an airplane would work, Steve.
No. Impossible.
Now, listen.
No.
Again, Boston Pizza, Stouffville. This is going to be a blast. It's going to be so much fun. Steve will be doing his live stream on location. Now, I want to rewind a little bit here because Steve tweeted out, Jesse, we got a call and a text from Steve earlier in the day, that day. And then Steve...
Monday.
Yes. After the show.
Yes.
And Steve tweeted the following because I think it's
you
really...
are delaying. Sorry,
I'm looking. Here we go. Here's what Steve tweets. Are you ready for this?
You got it.
No.
It'll be Jesse Blake and Adam Wilde tonight. Unfortunately, I am unable to join the stream, but everything is fine and it's going to be a great stream. Everybody reacted the way that they should react to that tweet, which is nobody thought anything was fine. When you tweet something like that, especially with the 3 E's at the beginning of everything is not fine and you're not on the stream.
No, okay. So I actually put a lot of thought into that tweet and I did the right thing. I did. Everything is fine. What was it? 3 or 4 E's?
3 E's.
So you know that I'm saying everything is fine. What if I said everything is fine? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Did any of you else feel like anything was fine when I said that?
Mm-hmm.
No, because there was no jovial everything to it. What if I just didn't explain it? Adam and Jesse are doing this one. You know? So I thought I was just being nice by going, everything is fine.
Yeah. Well, most people assume that it wasn't because it's the internet. So are you allowed to talk about what happened?
Yeah, my daughter's sick.
Okay.
That's all.
Listen,
we talked about it extensively on the stream.
I know, but not everybody joined us on the stream, and I wanted to throw that out there.
Right. Oh.
Your daughter was sick.
She's sick, and she's 3 months old, so when she's sick, everything's a crisis, and no, she's fine.
Okay, cool. Now let's move on. Sasha Barkov. We thought he was sick.
But everything's fine.
Everything is fine. He is apparently flying to Florida today. Practiced this morning. Got on the ice, according to Elliot Friedman. So that's great. Good for him. Happy.
For him. Yep.
Flying from Florida today. Excuse me. I don't know why I said that. And my question to you, gentlemen, is how do you react to this quote from the second round of the playoffs? People don't want to say it, but part of the playoffs is trying to hurt every player on the other team. The more guys you take out, the more advantage your team has. Every time you step on the ice, someone is trying to hurt someone. That's how it goes in the playoffs. That's part of the benefit of having a physical group. That's why you rarely see teams that are small and skilled go far, because they get hurt. Who said it?
Brad Marchand, talking about Sam Bennett injuring him.
Punching him in the face.
Yep.
That's right.
With
the butt end of a stick.
Yeah, in a legal hit.
Legal hit.
I don't know.
Okay, so we know that NHL player safety through the media, they never make a statement on this. We know that obviously somebody found out somewhere that NHL player safety was not going to do anything about the Draisaitl hit. Mm-hmm. Sam Carrick got a fine
for cowbelling Dmitry Kulikov.
And he should.
You should get a fine. By the way,
that is a real cowbell too.
The fifth thing that the Department of Player Safety has had to punish in these playoffs.
And it was $2,500, I think, something like that.
They are averaging 1.25 incidents of discipline per round.
Well,
it's not a sports league.
I think that
it's not a sports.
I think it's a sports league that this is how they won it.
Right.
So once you accept the rules of the game, you must learn to play the game.
Like, okay, a lot of people sent me. It was going viral recently. You know how there's like boxing, and then there's like UFC, which is mixed martial arts, and they're two different things. Then there's like Jake Paul versus whoever the hell he fights, and it's not real, but it's boxing under boxing rules. And then people were sending me clips of Ed Hall, who's like an enormous weightlifter, fighting like two people smaller than Adam and I at the same time. Mm-hmm. And that's a hair below what the NHL is.
Okay.
So it is. What? It is what? Like, no, hockey is a game. You always get you always get called soft whenever you say this. I don't give a shit. It doesn't hurt to be right, so I'm going to sit here and be comfortable. Hockey is not a game for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a rough game.
Yeah.
It's a tumble game. If you don't like it, watch tennis and all that shit. Okay, fine, I get it. What are all the penalties for? What are all the penalties for? It's because there's rules. You're not allowed to knee guys. We saw someone get kicked out of the game, which, I mean, kneeing in the first period, 5-minute major, that's basically a 1-game suspension. That's how I look at it. So
NHL looks at that as a 2-gamer.
Yeah. The refs dealt with that. That's actually a really good point. He probably would have gotten an extra game in the regular season. I look at that as justice served. Mm-hmm. It was a bad knee. He got kicked out of the game, 5-minute major, whatever. But there's all these rules. You can't slash guys. Mm-hmm. You can't punch guys. You can't. There's actually a penalty for that. You can't cross-check guys. You can't hook guys. And we're 2 games into the Stanley Cup final. And this year, more than most years past, I'm looking at both teams. Like, I'm not picking a side here. I'm looking at the stuff the Panthers are doing and the stuff the Oilers are doing and going, how the hell are either of these guys getting away with this? Evander Kane just, whoa, right in the face of Tkachuk. First of all, good.
McDavid did the same thing.
McDavid did the same thing. Whoa, right to the face of Matthew
Across
Tkachuk.
The referee's nose.
Yeah, and again, good. Sam Bennett, right to the face of McDavid. Whoa, doing he has a trademark shitheel move now where he punches you in the face while skating full throttle. And now it's on everyone's radar. And I can almost guarantee something's going to happen next year where Sam Bennett does that to someone, and it's going to get called before the Department of Player Safety. And he's going to have every right to be like, you let me do it 3 times. You let me do it to McDavid. You let me do it to Marchand. You let me do it to Nyes.
I'm going to poke a hole in that story.
Okay.
No, they're not.
No, they're not?
No, why would they call him on it? Then they have to be held to account.
Well, yeah. So never mind then. It's just a thing that's allowed. So
this doesn't bother me as much anymore. I'll tell you.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't bother me as much anymore either. And here's why. This show's been around since 2013. Mm-hmm. We fought the law. The law won.
Yeah.
For over 10 years, I'm like, get smaller, get more skilled, and the rules will adapt. It's 10 years later. The rules won't adapt. Sign psychopaths.
Well, good thing for you. That's what the Leafs apparently are going to be doing.
Yep. Get worse at hockey. Sign psychopath.
See, now wait.
I
don't agree with that either.
Now wait.
I don't agree with that.
Now, wait. Someone said to me yesterday, they're like, does this like not kind of hurt the legitimacy of the Stanley Cup?
No.
These are the two best teams. Edmonton won their way through the West because they deserve to. Florida won their way through the East because they clearly deserve to, like even by a wider margin. They just had an easier time with their opponents. But more and more and more in recent years, just do whatever the fuck you want. Just do whatever you want. And like, what? Aren't you entertained? Don't you like what? Yeah, but like, okay, let's apply this to any other sport. Soccer, but deck people.
I don't know. That's
basketball,
that's the sport.
Deck people.
So here's
no,
the deal.
It's fucking not.
Yeah, but it is though.
Then what are all the penalties for?
The penalties are for managing the game. Keeping it spicy.
Good Lord. It's not. It's unspicing it. It's actually it's scraping the spice off. The lid accidentally came off when you were shaking it on. And you go, oh shit!
I'm gonna call you
butter
out.
knife.
I'm gonna call you out. Here's where your Leaf fan shows, and this is you see this on Twitter all the time, and I understand it because I lived it. What people think means tougher is worse. And if you look at the way the Florida Panthers played all the way through the playoffs, and then in game 2 especially, because game 1 was not good, they got away with one.
They're the best hockey team in the world.
So toughness does not mean bad. You have to be tough and good.
I agree.
And a lot of teams get tough and bad because they're stupid.
Yes.
The Florida Panthers, Bill Zito deserves a ton of credit for going, I'm going to sign that psychopath because he's good at hockey, or I'm going to trade for that psychopath because he's good at hockey and he's a psychopath. I like both of those things. So where the Leafs, I think, have gone wrong, and I'm bringing it back to the Leafs because we live in Toronto, is they were like, we're not getting any toughness. We know that the NHL is going to do the thing, which is us being small and speedy, and they weren't even really that fast ever. Us being small and skilled, the NHL is going to do the right thing and call the penalties. And they never have. That is a fatal flaw in your plan.
And refs retiring and then openly being like, ugh, the Leafs, am I right? Like, just, it's fucking disgraceful.
And so I look at this.
It's so bad.
I look at this and I go, okay, so that's what it is right now. That's what it is right now. That's how you got to, if you want to change that.
No, that's how it's always going to be.
Well, I listen, Gary Bettman's in his 70s. He's not going to be around for
Are you like, I don't know.
What
am I jaded or observant?
I think the new NHL will look different under whoever's next. I really do. And you know, the reality is,
Adam, it's going to be Futurama. Like Gary Bettman's head is going to be the commissioner in 150 years. Are you kidding me? 100%.
They'll just freeze him like Walt Disney.
Yeah.
My point is it's both can be done. And I look at the Florida Panthers and I look at the East ride, and we are about to find out in games 3 and 4 here how much better the East is than the West. We're about to find out, guys. Jesse,
baby.
I got to ask you, if you were to say right now, who had a tougher road to the finals, Edmonton or Florida?
So you were saying that on the stream, and I disagreed. I think Florida is just the better team here. I think when you look at what goes on in the Metro Division this season and how much of an abomination that was at the bottom of the East playoff race, I don't think it's the East that's better. I think it's the Florida Panthers who are built as the best team in the National Hockey League. And I think this season, more than of seasons in the past where you have the Stanley Cup playoffs play out, I think we've come to the conclusion that we have the best team in the Stanley Cup final here. And it's worked out to where, okay, they're up against Edmonton. Maybe the second best team was the New York Rangers, maybe if you want to make that argument, or some other team, I don't know, that didn't get there. But I think you have the 1 seed in the Panthers as the best, and they're just up against a team that they match up really well with, and they're dominating these first 2 games.
Okay. Here, let's play this game. Both teams won their first round series in 5. Florida Panthers beat the Lightning in 5. The Oilers beat the Kings in 5. Which one was more surprising? To me, it was Florida beating Tampa in 5.
Yes, I think that was more of a surprising defeat than the Kings one.
Because I look at the Oilers stomping the Kings, and I'm like, well, yeah. And I look at the Panthers stomping the Lightning, and I'm like, okay, I thought they'd win. I didn't think they'd kill them. Second round, Oilers Canucks goes 7. And then Florida beat Boston. Was that in 5?
I think it was 5 or 6, yeah. Whatever it was.
I look at that and I go, feels like the Oilers should have had an easier time with Vancouver than they did, especially given that Vancouver is using their third goalie, and even though he was good. I look at how tight the Leafs-Bruins series and how hard Jeremy Swayman was to beat, and Florida just toyed with them, and I'm like, oh, shit. Then comes the third round with the Panthers and Rangers, and then there's Oilers Stars. I will admit, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised the Oilers beat the Stars.
I think everybody was a little surprised that didn't go 7 at very least.
Yeah, I'm very surprised the Oilers beat the Stars, and it didn't even take 7 games to do it. Panthers Rangers is tricky for me because it was 6 games, but having watched every game so closely, they kicked their ass. They kicked their ass, man. So these are the 2 best teams, but to me, like right now, if you're just talking about their trip through the playoffs, the Panthers are better.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
So I'm squarely on the East is harder than the West right now. I'm just throwing that out there, especially the Atlantic Division. But doesn't matter.
Drew's going to fight you.
Let's talk about Game 3. The Edmonton Oilers have to win this game. They have to win this game. And the problem is that I feel like Game 1 was a mirage. I don't think the Panthers are ever going to play that bad again.
No, and it sure seemed obvious after Game 2.
And Game 2 felt like, okay, they came out of the first period with a goal, and it was the first time Bobrovsky was beat 5-hole, but...
They had one shot after 15 minutes, and it just happened to go in.
Yeah.
Because Ekholm looked off McDavid.
Yeah. And
like on a 2-on-1.
And that's
hilarious.
You're not good. I mean, that's ruthless efficiency. 1 shot, 1 goal. But beyond that, I mean, first off, Evan Rodriguez is having a great series.
Oh, man.
Just killing it.
Imagine letting him go for nothing.
I think the thing is with Florida, it just seems to be, I mean, that they physically match up pretty well. Like Edmonton's throwing as much dirty as they're taking, but I don't think they're getting enough going, guys, on... in terms of crowding the net, in terms of driving the net, in terms of anything that's going to get you a playoff goal. Like Zach Hyman can't score if they don't get pucks into him.
The Oilers didn't get a single high danger scoring chance. I think Natural Stat Trick had this. The Edmonton Oilers didn't get a single high danger scoring chance at 5-on-5. And you might be saying to yourself, well, didn't they have a 2-on-1 that resulted in a goal? That was 4-on-4. Didn't have a single scoring chance of 5-on-5. So Bobrovsky established in Game 1, he's near impossible to beat. And then in Game 2, you didn't even challenge him.
19 shots.
That's terrifying. That's real terrifying.
Oilers had 45 penalty minutes to 12 from the Florida Panthers. I know that's a little bit scary.
Oh my God.
But I just...
Well, that's half of that's Warren Fogle.
I know. What do you guys think about the... what do you think Edmonton has to do, and can they do it? So you propose, if you're Chris Knobloch right now, what are you trying to do in Game 3 tomorrow night, and how likely is it to happen?
It's really hard to answer that without knowing the status of Darnell Nurse. Has he had a very good playoff? No. Is it better to have him out there playing not that great, or just 5 guys? Well, I think we found the answer. It's better to have him out there. So is he good to go for Game 3? And if he's good enough to go for Game 3, I think you still dress 7. I think you go 11-7.
7 defensemen?
I think you go 11-7.
Why do you think Ceci adds anything to that lineup?
Well, I mean,
he's the guy they're going to dress.
Listen, I don't love that player. I don't. I am going to make it an observation that's going to piss a lot of people off. It's going to piss a lot of people off. The Edmonton Oilers killed 34 straight penalties, took him out of the lineup, and then it ended.
Oh, stop it.
I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just...
They're playing the best team in the league.
Guaranteed they're talking about that. Guaranteed they're talking about... And part of it is Nurse played 3 shifts or whatever it was.
Jesse, what do you think?
For what Edmonton can do?
Yeah.
It's hard to find a path forward for Edmonton because you look at Bobrovsky's going to be on his game. The way both goals were scored, the Mikkola goal and the second Rodriguez goal,
they're both
I'm looking
so
at those.
sexy.
Both of them are off of the rush, and Lindell was very important in both of those plays, and OEL on that second Rodriguez goal coming out the back of the net. And you look at just the first game where Florida is not playing their best and they still find a way to win. The second game where they dominate and Edmonton has no chance there. It's hard to see how Edmonton can completely change their game from games 2 to 3 and beat Florida. Like I don't see them winning 4 of the next 5 games. What they have
6.
to do 6 games. Sorry, no 4 and 5. Because
you're right. Oh yeah, no, sorry, I'm stupid.
To win this series, Edmonton would have to take 4 of 5 from Florida.
Damn,
ooh. That's an impossible task with the way they're playing right now. And you have to come out as a completely different hockey team. You have to be able to play. You have to generate some sort of offense, as they did in Game 1, and then not have a goalie stand on his head like Bobrovsky's done for 2 straight postseasons now. So I don't know. It's a hard path forward.
So they played. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Florida Panthers have played exactly 100 games this season between regular season and playoffs.
Okay.
How many times out of those 100 have they lost 4 out of 5?
Probably 0.
The answer it might be 0.
It might be like 1, maybe a slump in, I don't know, December or something. I'm just picking random dates, but like if beating this Florida team 4 out of 5 times in the next 2 weeks, it doesn't seem realistic. No, for the Edmonton Oilers.
I'm glad you pointed out how good Lindell's been at all of that, because Barkov's getting his flowers and he deserves them. That third line is such a nightmarish line for the Panthers, and the Oilers don't really have an answer for it. And that's part of the reason I thought Foegele deserved the 5 on the knee on Luostarinen.
That was rough.
Well, it was a bad knee, and he stuck his knee out, and I thought he meant to do it. But I thought getting a piece of that player was purposeful. Like, that line's killing them. Like, I think Barkov is obviously incredibly elite. He's also harder to get a hold of. I think if you're going to get your pound of flesh, especially if you're Foegele, like, you're not going to end up on the ice at the same time as Barkov. So you're trying to help your team in any way you can.
So eliminate your opponent.
Well, that's the guy you're on the ice with, and I'm going to fuck him up. And he did. I couldn't believe he returned to the game.
Yeah, he's back, and he doesn't even have like one of those like exclamation marks next to his name. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably not fine, but he's probably fine.
I'm guessing
playoff fine.
It was a Charlie horse rather than a hyperextension, because, well, I mean, your knees only supposed to bend one way, so I'm guessing that's
pretty nasty bruise, I would bet.
Yeah, now you're on the road. It's going to be a little different, and I wonder how that line's going to perform, because today at the skate, it's still Lindell, it's still Luostarinen, but Okposo was in place of Tarasenko, who wasn't skating,
who might just be old and getting a rest.
So he might be old and getting a rest. What made me think that might not be the case is Okposo got moved up, and instead of putting a placeholder into his spot, it was just Okposo getting moved up and Cousins is on the 4th line. So to me, that looks like a lineup they would use rather than have someone just filling in. So I'm not saying Okposo's bad. I'm just saying it adds a completely different dynamic. They're 2 very different players. You got a sniper and you got a guy who at this stage in his career is actually a really effective depth guy. Florida's got such good depth.
Yeah, Tarasenko was so crucial on that their first goal, the Mikkola one. It was Lindell coming up, and then Tarasenko had the zone entry. It was beautiful, and just dropped it over to Mikkola, and they score off the rush there. And like having somebody like Tarasenko playing in that position in the lineup is so hard to stop. You know, you're just so incredibly deep.
I guess the key to victory would be for the Oilers to get tell their forwards to get their head out of their ass on the defensive side of the puck.
They haven't done much.
No,
and Florida's offensive zone where they're unable to sustain any type of pressure. If you watch any shot that was on goal in Bobrovsky, Florida picked up that puck. There's no rebounds for the Edmonton Oilers to maintain any kind of zone time in that entire game too.
They're like mosquitoes. If mosquitoes were all 6'2", 215. Like they just follow you around. They just follow. Get off, and there's nothing you can do.
Okay, so a question about the Oilers lineup on forward. Okay, if you are going 11-7, and Jesse, do you agree with the 11-7 take?
No.
I'm with you.
I don't think you take out one of the forwards who have been like I don't know if bringing in CC is better than removing a forward,
like Connor Brown or something like that.
So do you have 4 lines then and put CC in ahead of Nurse? Like this guy might.
I don't know what Nurse's status is.
Yeah, that's the real problem in the discussion.
My question was they keep moving around lineups with Leon Draisaitl, right? They want him to drive that second line, and it's Holloway and Fogle and Kane and Henrique last game, and they've all kind of switched into that, and they haven't been able to get anything going. And I wondered if you don't shift in, not permanently, if you don't put Leon on the left wing with McDavid and Hyman for a few shifts every period and try to get something going, because
they're at home. That's 100% what they're going to do.
Because I think Leon. I think he needs a little support. Like it's a little thin around him.
He's not getting the puck in positions where it's
the side of the net where he always scores.
Yeah, well, there's that. But like he's just the shifts where the Oilers look their most dangerous is when McDavid's like, fine, I'll do it myself. So maybe the key is to attack with speed, I guess, but you can't just go 1-on-4 and expect it to work every time. McDavid can get you a few goals a series like that because he's an alien. But we already have seen time and time and time again, no matter how special that player is, if the rest of the team doesn't help him, they're not going to win.
Right.
They'll only get so far.
And I wonder, I mean, we haven't had any confirmation on this, but it doesn't look like Leon's at 100%.
I don't think a single player is.
No, but no. But like for him, generally,
you think he's like? Really,
I think there's a back issue there. I feel like he's skating labor from time to time. I see him and I go, he doesn't look comfortable.
I thought it was his hand. Didn't he break a finger or something?
Maybe.
Everyone's playing with a broken something.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I just feel like there's might be something there where, especially like hockey is such a mental game in terms of momentum, and I'm thinking that you get the last change, you can switch these guys in. All 3 of McDavid, Hyman, and Draisaitl need to get going.
Yes. Yeah.
You don't win if they don't score. End of story.
I mean, if it's a back issue, like I saw some people talking about, well, there's a couple days off, and all I'm thinking about is all those players just calcifying on the plane from Florida to Edmonton.
How long is that flight? Do we know?
Too long.
Okay.
It's got to be at least 4 hours.
Right. Yeah.
And then you can't stand up. Oh, there's one of the Panthers.
There's a fly. Yeah,
Adam just swatted away one of them. Oh, there's one of them. Hey. Oh, they'll be back next shift. That's the problem with them. This is the reason why this final is so spread out. Like, there's always going to be long travel in the Stanley Cup final. You have East versus West. This one sucks. This one sucks so bad.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Did you have any issue with Stuart Skinner last game, guys?
Nah. Those were really good goals. Like,
I would say the Oilers let him down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
The 2 off the rush, and then the other one's Darnell Nurse passing it to Evan to Evan. Or no, it was Bouchard to Evan Rodriguez.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it was Evan to Evan, tape to tape, and Rodriguez just wires it home. Like, you can't do anything about that.
Sometimes you say stuff, and I'm like, I should have said that in the video. Evan to Evan. Oh, I didn't. Why didn't I think of that? Damn.
So I don't know. Like, Stuart Skinner can't be to blame for that performance.
No, and like the 2 Rodriguez goals were, one is a piss missile, like just a really, really good shot. There's not a whole lot of margin for error there, and the other was just a unbelievably executed tip. Like, I don't know, outside of turning water to wine, what you want Stuart Skinner to do. Like, he's been a big story in these playoffs, and deservedly so. I'm not sure I blame him for a single goal the Panthers have scored yet.
In the entire series?
So far.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not like he's had like an absolute stinker of a goal that's gone in.
No, like he got outgunned by Bob in the first game, but like, that doesn't mean, just because the other goalie was better doesn't mean you were bad.
And I think like I'm looking at like some of the discourse from the Oilers fans and even the Panthers fans going back and forth about the penalties and all that. I'm like, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day if the Oilers can't score goals. Like, you can complain about the penalties and the refs not calling this and the refs not calling that. They called enough where there was a lot of time spent on the power play for both teams, and you couldn't generate any type of scoring chance at 5-on-5. And if you can't score goals, you can't win the game. So it's not the refs' fault if there's no goals being scored by any of your top performers.
The Oilers have the personnel that if all the penalties went away, they'd be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, their special teams are a strength, but like, if this series goes to hell, you can be Satan. You can be the team that beats the shit out of everyone. Like, they got some really tough guys. But I mean, you got Kane and Perry who aren't in the lineup at the same time every night, and Nurse.
Kane's so injured.
Yeah. Now that I think of it, a lot of their tough guys are hurt.
He's like 35% of what he should be.
It's a shame because he could. This is the time where he's the most effective, right?
What's so important for the Panthers is most of their best players are really good hockey players. Or sorry, most of their toughest players are really good hockey players, is what I meant to say, baby brain. Ironically, they're like this excellent hybrid of, like, we always go back to the damn 2011 Bruins, but like the 2020 and 2021 Lightning, where they wouldn't initiate a lot of the bullshit, but they weren't afraid of it.
Yes.
At all. And if they had to initiate, they could. But like, Matthew Tkachuk is a problem. Sam Bennett is a problem. Aaron Ekblad,
man, him and
underratedly
him scoring, and like that was
choking out Evan Bouchard.
Yeah, and Evan Bouchard tapping.
Did you see Pete Blackburn's take on that?
No, what did he say?
He's like, you can't tap.
No, you can't.
You can't tap. You got to go unconscious.
You can't tap.
Like, the visual is horrible,
It's horrible.
but like, also, I've never seen that before.
No,
I've never seen a player just get choked, and like, that's fine, by the way.
Oh yeah, it's totally fine.
It's nothing, no penalty,
notably,
no fine, no nothing. Choke your opponent. It's allowed.
I want to say that the ratings for this Stanley Cup are very interesting. John Shannon tweeted out, Game 1 on Saturday, 3.1 million people watched in the United States, which is good for the NHL. 3.2 million watched in Canada.
That's crazy.
Crazy per capita on that. Also, A. Gretzky is cheating on the Oilers.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know if you saw this, but Paulina Gretzky is all the way in on the Florida Panthers.
You
lives in Florida.
Daughter of a gun. How wow. How dare you? How isn't her uncle ? On the Oilers? Like in the front office?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but like that's where she grew up, I assume, is Florida. Because like, when was she born? When Gretzky played in the Oilers?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She was.
I don't know.
I
think she was born in LA.
Older than me.
She was born in LA.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. So
Gretzky was traded the year Adam and I were born.
Yeah. So
I'm just
I
checking
assume. How old is
she's
Paul?
35. So yeah, December 19th, 88. So she would have been.
So she didn't know like, oh, my dad's an Oiler or anything like that as a kid. So there's no ties to that. I don't blame her for being a Panthers fan. She lives there now.
She was born.
She's cheering against her uncle too.
3 months into him being a kid.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Be a fan of your team.
I liked it. I just thought that was funny. I was like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Same with Ariana Grande. She's a big Panthers fan from being a kid. And there's photos and videos of her riding the Zamboni as like a child and stuff in Florida.
Jesse, is it possible to bring up the DJ Khaled Gary Bettman picture?
Yeah, I can bring that up.
I really want to bring
that was a funny picture.
It's an absolute fever dream. That's the sort of thing where you have too much cheese before bed and you wake up at 3 a.m. because you just had a dream of DJ Khaled hugging Gary Bettman. Like, it's one of the.
It's almost like the Connor McDavid at the airport where the two fans are grabbing his arms. Like, it's that level of uncomfort, man.
So he did the party outside of a Merit Bank Arena, I believe it's called.
Oh, look at you knowing the arena sponsor.
Yeah, look at me go. Arena names. So that's why Khaled was with Gary Bettman, is because he did like the pregame hype outside the arena.
Khaled is, by the way, far too warm for a guy like Gary Bettman. Gary is northern East Coast let's shake hands, Max, and not show any emotion. DJ Khaled is...
No, he's not wearing a tie. He's letting loose.
Yeah, okay. But DJ Khaled is... that guy is a ball of energy and warmth and hugs everybody. Gary's doing his best here. Gary's doing his best. But he's like, we're too close.
I need the footage.
Oh, I just this video.
I need to know what was said.
I want to know who took that picture. Was it Bill Daly?
Yes.
It feels like they tried to get the arena in there too. But
Maddie?
This is giving when Travis Kelce, or no, it was Jason Kelce met Ice Spice.
Yeah, a little bit.
But like,
what do you think they said? Like,
well, exactly. There's footage of that though. There's footage of that, and it's just a nice conversation between Jason Kelce and Ice Spice.
There's audio with it.
No. But like, there's footage of them talking, no audio, and I'm like, I need a John Boy lip reading of this.
Oh, you're talking about the Jason Kelce Ice Spice one, yeah.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
What would those two talk about? And I look at DJ Khaled and Gary Bettman, and I'm
what
like,
are they saying?
What
do you think they're saying?
He's probably just like, great job hyping up the crowd and everything. You know, probably very normal conversation.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Gary Bettman, and just we the best music.
We the best league.
We the best league. I don't know. I don't know. Like, what does... I saw that he was performing, and I'm like, what is a DJ Khaled performance?
Oh, he's a DJ.
Right.
You should go actually look up DJ Khaled back when he had like the song. Do you remember Out Here Grinding with Shaggy? Because I'm out here grinding. Like way back, like 15 years ago. The guy used to put on like crazy shows.
But like, what does he do? Is he just like, he's just,
literally a DJ.
He's just stoked?
Yeah.
That's his thing, is he's stoked?
He's really good at bringing people together in the studio.
Hey, everyone, are you excited? And they all go, yeah! And he goes, my job is done. We the best.
It's working for him.
It's, you know what? Now I'm hyped.
The other thing, do I have anything else on the Stanley Cup? Do you guys have anything else you wanted to hit here? Because I would like to move on to Cap Friendly.
Choking's allowed.
Choking's allowed.
Choking's allowed. Go ahead and do it.
I don't think suspension was warranted for Leon Draisaitl.
No, we talked about Jess, right? Like on that stream.
Yeah, I don't.
If
suspension is Stanley Cup final, like, are you new to how the Department of Player Safety works? That was never going to happen.
If Trouba didn't get one on Rodriguez, that was never.
Yeah.
My thing. Listen. Since Barkov it looks like going to play. Yeah, no suspension. And I know this isn't how it works, but it's also how it works. Barkov's going to play, so no suspension. If Barkov doesn't play Game 3, there's no justification for Leon Draisaitl playing. None. He injured Florida's best player with an infraction. There's no justification for it.
I don't think that's how it works.
No, but it also very often is.
Yeah, but I don't think the NHL could have waited to see the status of Barkov and then suspended Draisaitl. I don't think that doesn't make much sense.
No, but he's obviously
they often suspend on outcome, but when it comes to two-star players, they're never.
It's Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, it's never
the expectation. If you're watching the game, can't be. Yeah, that's a one-game suspension. The NHL is going to come down for that. That's not how they ever operate.
Warren Fogle does that to Barkov. He wouldn't be in Game 3 because he'd still be in jail in Florida. But it's Draisaitl. So, they're going to suspend Leon Draisaitl for the first Stanley Cup final game in Edmonton in 18 years?
That's what I'm saying.
No shot.
The expectation shouldn't have been that the NHL does it. Like, whether you agree with the rules or not, like, we should all know that that's how they operate, and it's never going to go down like that.
Yeah. I'm always weary of that's how they operate statements when it comes to the NHL, because that's how they operate sometimes. You know what I mean?
Where's the precedence for suspending a star player at this juncture?
Aaron Rome.
That's
a joke. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's a joke.
They're never going to do it. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's never going to happen. And I think so. Knowing that we're not in a different NHL world, like, I feel like if we're in a different reality where they're more consistent and things are called normally, maybe you should have a different expectation about how it goes. But knowing who runs the league right now and who runs the Department of Player Safety,
just people who
they're not going to do it.
Don't care.
They're not going to do it.
Genuinely, wholeheartedly don't care about
it's an entertainment product.
The fans or the sport.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, you've had a tough show. How are you sleeping?
Poorly.
Steve, you should take the Helix sleep quiz.
Yeah?
Yeah. So here's
Do
the
you
thing.
sleep? No, I failed.
Helix has over 20 unique mattresses, and what they do with the quiz is they match you with a mattress that feels good for you. So if you like a soft mattress, a medium mattress, firm mattress, how do you sleep?
Like what? Like on my back, on my side?
Yeah.
On my side.
On your side. Okay. Well, so they got mattresses set up for that. Or if you're somebody that moves around all night, they got that too. Jesse, how do you sleep? What do you do?
Steve, your answer should have been, I don't.
Oh,
I have child.
sorry. How do I imagine I would sleep?
That's
I think that was the correct response.
Yeah.
Jesse, how do you sleep?
On my side.
Okay. Now, are you a firm or a soft or medium?
Soft. I like it.
You like
I
a
like
soft
I like
mattress.
falling into, those foam pits?
Yeah.
I want my bed to be that.
Well, here's the thing. Helix can give you the best mattress for you, and they all come with either a 10 or a 15-year warranty, depending on the model. And here's the other thing. No fiberglass in these mattresses, which a lot of mattresses have, and it can be harmful to your health. Isn't that crazy? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
It's like being cross-checked all night.
What the hell's going on here? Why is there fiberglass in my mattress?
I know it's carbon fiber.
Don't take our word for it either. Helix has been awarded the #1 mattress pick by GQ and Wired magazine. It's even recommended by multiple leading chiropractors and doctors of sleep medicine as a go-to solution for improving your sleep. Helix is offering 20% off all mattress orders and 2 free sleep pillows for our listeners. So So if you need, let's say you just moved into a house and you have 3 bedrooms and you want to buy 3 mattresses, guess what that applies to? All of them. Wow. And 2 pillows. Go to helixsleep.com/SDP. That's Helix, HELIX, sleep.com/SDP. This is their best offer yet, and it won't last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Washington Capitals president and general manager Brian McClellan issued the following statement today on the team reaching an agreement to acquire CapFriendly.
I haven't heard this yet.
The Capitals have agreed to acquire CapFriendly,
What? Who broke that?
including its tools and functions for in-house hockey operations department. CapFriendly will continue to operate independently until the transaction closes, which is anticipated to occur in mid-July after the conclusion of the NHL draft to start free agency. This strategic move will provide the Capitals organization with the ability to digest, present, and analyze our internal and league-supplied data, and will bring aboard Jamie, Ryan, and Christopher Davis, talented members of the CapFriendly team.
Oh, all 3 of them.
Once the deal has closed, the existing infrastructure will be a valuable addition to the team's hockey ops. In many ways, we anticipate that this acquisition will significantly enhance and integrate various branches of our hockey operations department, allowing us to strengthen our management, scouting, analytics, and player development, in addition to augmenting our salary cap and contractual applications. We are thrilled that Jamie, Ryan, and Christopher have agreed to join the organization and are excited to add CapFriendly's platform to the team's related deep knowledge to the Capitals front office.
Maybe I missed it. Did they mention Dominic?
No, Dominic works for the Sharks, doesn't he?
Dominic's right.
Or Blackhawks.
But so as I understand it, he's the...
Yes.
No, he works for the Sharks.
Okay,
As
but
I
you
understand it, he's the founder of CapFriendly.
Yes, and here's what likely is. I'm speculating here.
Wow.
You can own something and not be a part of it.
Right.
So you can be he might have founded it and then been, guys, can you take this while I go work inside the NHL? And he might partake in whatever the sale is. I don't know what the proposed number is, but
wow, that's surprising.
Actually, I've heard rumors about it, but none of them are even close to substantiated. So don't believe what you read.
That's surprising, but that's crazy. Like, when was the last time a team hired 3 brothers at the same time?
That's true.
All the Davis brothers. That's really cool. Good for them.
And good for them. And I think it's kind of hilarious because there's so much conjecture still online about this. And ultimately, I don't understand why people just can't be happy for them. So I would encourage you to be happy for people that made a great product, that got a billionaire to part with millions of dollars of his money, and they get to go work for an NHL franchise in a great place to live. Washington, D.C. absolutely rules. It's such a great spot. I love Washington, D.C. And
yeah, it's fun.
And so they're going to have a really, really good time. And I think, just please, I don't understand. Please be happy.
One of the things Elliot Friedman said on 32 Thoughts yesterday that to me, this is the point. Because the site's staying open until after the draft, and I think after free agency is what they said.
Mm-hmm.
And some people sarcastically were like, "Oh, how generous of them." Frege said one general manager was like, "If I'm buying this team, or someone in management with one team is like, if I'm buying CapFriendly,
mm-hmm.
it's going offline that day.
Yeah.
I'm paying you all this money. It's going offline that day. So
then you're screwing all the other NHL franchises.
Yeah. Oh, like
they might have contracts that stipulate they can't.
Yeah, they might have contracts that stipulate they can't. But you know, the other option is it just goes away right away. You want that? No, this is better, right? This is better. And then you use all their functions and then the site goes away and you have all summer to acclimatize to something else as a fan.
And I hope that's what you spend your summer doing.
Yeah. Instead of watching Austin Matthews' goal highlights, he scored 69, so it's too long now.
Yeah. Get on Puckpedia, learn how to use the site.
Exactly.
It's a fantastic move for them, and I think a great move for the Capitals, who need to refresh the whole thing. And wouldn't it be great if the Capitals
okay job?
They're doing an okay job, but they need
help.
They need help. They made the playoffs, but
yeah, they're not there yet.
And good for them. I don't know, man. I can't see anything, but I cannot be anything but happy for these people. And they're great people. I have to say, they're really good guys. So.
Who wear suits.
They do wear a good
when
suit.
It's
they
hot.
cut a good suit. Now, another thing that's being reported this morning.
Oh, we're gonna gloss over the
do you want to talk about the Frege and CapFriendly rumors?
Well, yeah, I just feel like it's
bring it up.
It's relevant to bring up how shit the NHL is.
See, I think you're wrong here too.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely wrong. Tell what did Elliott say on 32 Thoughts?
Elliott said that the relationship between CapFriendly and the NHL has been icy. We talked about how the Davis brothers didn't have credentials for the draft. I think they, if I'm not mistaken, they tried to get them and were denied.
Well, we can relate to that.
Sure we can. So they just bought tickets, showed up in suits with laptops and their phones, and I think exchanged 0 words, and just stood there and saved the hockey world from the draft, running the site from there. And what Elliott said is the NHL has no interest in doing their own version of this. One thing Elliott did said that no one was really talking about is he thinks Sportsnet should be doing their own version of this. He's 1,000% correct, and there's no justification for not doing it. We know CapFriendly is a money-making venture. Do it.
I'll tell you.
You cover the sport.
No.
Do it.
No.
Why not?
You're wrong about that too.
Why am I wrong?
You're wrong that the NHL should do it, and you're wrong that Sportsnet should do it.
Why?
I'll give you the NHL reason first, because it is the Sportsnet reason.
Okay.
The NHL views this.
Well, Sportsnet takes their cues.
The NHL views this as private information.
They're wrong.
I agree. I can't change the way the NHL views it. The NHL players, and it's enshrined in the CBA, believe it or not, won the right to salary disclosure at the beginning of the 1990s, 1992, I believe it was. And the reason that they got that was because they used to not know. So you'd have players who performed about the same. One would be making several hundred grand in the 80s, several hundred grand more than the other, and they'd have no idea unless they talked about it. So when you have a players union, it's good to have salary disclosure, because then you can establish things like market value. And in a cap world, it's even more important, because fans care about the cap, they're paying customers, and teams care about the cap, and players care about the cap, and everybody needs to know how much their percentage is on the cap, right? They don't even care about the number. It's percentage of cap that really is the first and most important thing in these negotiations. So the league wants to view it as private information, but because that's to their benefit. But the reality is that in collective bargaining, it's always better to have salary disclosure. Now, the second thing is, if the league, quote unquote, bought CapFriendly, or if the league created their own CapFriendly, they have no interest in making it good. They have no interest. They already said, we don't believe that we should have to disclose this information. They're very Lou Lamoriello about it. So you think, like, I look at the NHL's foray into advanced stats, and I look at something like NHL Edge, which tells you nothing. It tells you nothing.
I'm leaving my mind open to the possibility of it being good. It's the first year.
Well,
NHL Edge this season has been completely useless.
Now I get to know he skated 33 kilometers in that direction.
And because when you know the information, you're like, okay, yeah, he's that fast. That's cool to know. But you have no bearing against where he ranks in the league.
No, because
won't allow you to sort it against other players.
Which makes no
it makes complete sense. Though.
I don't know how you can defend them.
Guys, it makes complete sense because the NHL doesn't want you to be able to do that.
Yeah.
That is not beneficial to them. Also, Sportsnet. Rights holder, Elliot Friedman saying Sportsnet should do it. First off, you have to dedicate resources to that. Second,
zero shot.
The NHL. No, well, they also just made a huge purchase of Warner Brother Discovery with their like Rogers Media. So different. That's it. The other thing is the license. That is the other thing about that is that the NHL is basically when it's weird. It's a weird relationship because Rogers owns the rights to the NHL nationally in Canada. But the NHL dominates Rogers from behind the scenes. From a lot of different conversations I have had from people, the NHL will call Rogers and go, "We don't like this. Stop it." And
I've heard some genuinely pathetic things.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this or not, NHL head office is kind of touchy. Yeah. And so there is no real impetus for Rogers to go and do this unless they're looking at this the way TSN looked at it, which is we're going to be a regional rights holder. We're going to have a guy like Rick Westhead blow your shit up.
Oh, yeah.
You're upset about that? Well, too bad. And if in a couple of years, Rogers doesn't want to pony up the billions and billions it's going to take to retain this package that they're on, they can totally do that. And it is a money-making site. But the reality of the situation is in a mega corporation like that, is that going to make enough money to support the share value? And it's probably not. So the point is, this is an exciting time for you if you're somebody who cares about the cap, cares about this sort of thing, and wants to get into this business. Puckpedia obviously is great, and there's always one or two of these sites floating around. What a great opportunity for somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit to go, you know what? I'm going to try.
Yeah, this has happened several times where there's been a massive void and it was nearly immediately filled.
Absolutely. And I think you have to look at what the business goals of the NHL are, what the business goals of Sportsnet would be, what the business goals of TSN or ESPN or TNT would be. They don't match up with that. And that's why it's so exciting. Think about this. Yeah. Think about the concept as absolutely, it's crazy how simple Daily Faceoff is.
Yeah.
What a stupidly simple concept. We're just going to take all the lines and post them. And that site does incredible numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible numbers, and has since it launched. And we know all the guys over there at Nations that put that together when it was a private company. And look at that. They got bought for $16 million a few years ago. Right? Like that is entrepreneurial. And I like the fact that this is private business running the show on this one. I like the fact that the NHL and the broadcasters don't care because it allows people who are hardcore crazy fans who got a little bit of business sense to go in and do something awesome. And that's what I think's happened with CapFriendly. And that's why I think when you get mad at the NHL for this, I don't, because that's not their business goal. Their business goal is to make money off of the hockey. Their business goal is not to deliver really well, actually.
Yeah, compared to their peers.
Okay,
compared to
they're making good money.
It's always got to be compared
Steve,
to their peers.
Having a cat-friendly clone, having a cat-friendly clone on NHL.com is not going to make the NHL better than the NBA.
No, but it's part of it.
No, it isn't. The NBA doesn't do it.
No, that's true. But the NBA doesn't have as hard of a cap as the National Hockey League.
Right, I agree with that, but that's a different issue.
Here's the question. Gary Bettman goes on stage every year at the Stanley Cup Final, and he goes, this is the cap ceiling, and this is the cap floor. And this year, beat his chest because the cap is going up. What is the purpose of that, if not just solely to go and lay the NHL's member on the table and just be like, we're doing so well, and the salary cap is going up?
That's their job.
And yeah, but then, okay, so
does that mean they should have
in a perfect world for them, none of us know anything. right? In a perfect world for them, none of us know anything. We don't know Matthews' cap hit. We don't know Noah Gregor's cap hit. We don't know anyone throughout the lineup. So
The entire NHL is run by Lou Lamoriello.
great. So the
We don't know
salary
the sign.
cap is $88 million and the floor is $65. That's great. What the fuck do you want me to do with that information? That means nothing to me.
Yeah, but Steve,
everyone makes zero.
okay,
in my
but
head.
they know that private enterprise is going to take care of that anyway. It's not part of their concern.
They
and it
don't
shouldn't
know
be.
that.
They should.
They
focus.
resent it.
Well-
and also, Adam, they're liars. So this is a Toronto Star article from 2015 or 2016. I don't remember. We're not getting a lot of feedback on a Cap Geek style site, said Gary Bettman in 2015. So it's 2015. It's not something that seems to be driving fan interest as much as perhaps the interest of the media in this room and your colleagues. He's such a condescending sack of shit. GMs have access to information. The tools that we have for internal business use are different, but everything we do internally for business purposes doesn't necessarily need to be made public and be the object of discussion.
Why are you taking him at his word? You know he lies. That's his job. That's literally
What a
his job.
life.
That's
his life is to lie. That's
10
his
million
life's
bucks a year.
purpose,
Not-
is to be a disingenuous
Steve,
piece of garbage.
over cap friendly, I think people would lie for less.
Oh, I agree with you.
So my point is, the NHL is not something you want involved with this.
Yeah.
They have too much bureaucracy. They are too slow. They are not reacting well to their competitors in the market, which you brought up.
I know that. Oh, to be clear, I don't think they would do a good job.
No. So why are you asking them to do it?
It's weird that this league that has done so much,
And by the way, every league.
so much,
No league publishes this information.
Adam, stop acting like the NHL is not a different animal here. What are you talking about?
But no
Adam,
league
we
does,
sell
Steve.
triple hard cap shirts.
I know, but no league does publish this.
Yeah, but no league does the cap like the NHL.
Well, because
So it's
because their
important.
cap is different. Yes, I agree.
It's
with that.
important, right? So they make life difficult. They make consuming this sport, they make being informed on this sport difficult for everyone at every turn. And they have done so much damage, and hopefully not irreparable damage, to their place in the sports world. Okay, the number keeps going
But having
up. The number keeps going
having
up for
cap
fucking everyone.
information is not going to change that, Steve.
Adam, it's
how
part of it.
How? No, it's not.
Oh my
It's
God,
how-
man.
It's stars versus. You know, the number one issue in marketing in the NHL is the crest versus the star.
Okay.
The fact that they are doing that Drive to Survive like series is a miracle, because they're actually profiling superstars in the NHL.
Yeah.
And that's going to come out
10
this
years
fall, and
too
I'm really
fucking
excited
late,
about it.
but yeah, good for them.
Yeah, agreed. Because guess what?
What?
They found out again and again and again and again that they were making the wrong decision.
Well, what do you
And
want,
they
a fucking cookie?
And they got
Like, you're
new
so
owners
late to
in,
this game.
And they got new owners in, guys like Bill Foley, who were like, hey, I made a huge investment here,
Yeah.
and I have a lot more influence that I think Bill Foley's got a lot more influence than people give him credit for. There was an old boys
Well, yeah,
club.
he said he would spend $135 million on an NHL team and wasn't killed.
There was an old boys club,
Yeah.
and a lot of those guys are dying off. And, you know, Gary's executive, while it remains the same, are full of different people with new ideas. And I'm telling you that the biggest issue they face is that marketing wise, they don't put their stars out in front. And by the way, some of the stars don't want to be. That's also a problem.
It's a huge problem.
And so you telling me that the NHL publishing cap information, and by the way, they would never do a great job. You'd never be able to click through and see the previous things and look at all the tools that CapFriendly gave us that Puckpedia also has, right?
Yeah.
We would never be able to have that sort of information because they would never devote the resources to it, because they don't care. They don't care. And Gary says what did he say in that article about feedback? No, hold on, no. Tell me honestly. What did he say in about feedback? The feedback.
We're not getting a lot of feedback on a Cap Geek style site.
Right.
Gary
And who do you
Bettman
think he's asking?
in 2015,
Who do you think he's
9
asking?
years ago, being fucking wrong?
Hold on.
Who do I think he's asking? What do you mean?
Who do you think's giving him feedback?
The same fucking ghouls that give him feedback on everything and have for decades.
The owners.
Yeah.
The owners don't
Sorry,
care.
that's what I meant. You said
That's
it
Gary's job.
shorter.
The owners don't care.
Yeah. Oh, good. What a healthy league. What a great spot for us all to be in.
I think it's great for private enterprise. I'm pro this. Because listen, I'm
pro private enterprise for sure.
I'm pro the NHL not owning this space. Because when they own a space outside of what they are good at, which is putting hockey on ice, they kind of suck at it.
You're pro NHL not being in the space because it's the right thing to do, or because they'd fuck it up?
They'd fuck it up.
That's really disheartening.
Also, I don't think that it is the right thing for them to do, just like the other leagues, because again, when you're in an owner situation, you want no salary disclosure.
Well,
you don't want
too bad. The NHLPA.
Not too bad. It's their league. They can do what they want.
Bullshit. Someone sent me the NHLPA publishes every player on every team's salary.
Yes, because they won the right to that.
It's publicly available information.
Yes. And so why don't we do this? Why doesn't the NHLPA do it?
Why don't they? Hey,
because
you know
it's
what?
not their mandate.
That is a great question. That's a great question.
Because it's not their mandate. You want a third-party observer who has no skin in the game other than to make money and get as much accurate information as possible. The PA would do it so it would benefit the PA. The NHL would do it so it would do the NHL. You want a third party, and look at these guys getting hired by NHL teams.
Yep. Sorry, NHL fans. Do it yourself.
I think that's...
Like always.
I think that's not
Well, what do you want?
It's not what they do.
Do it yourself.
Why? Okay, people are going to comment on this video. They'll be like, why don't you guys do it? Because we can't.
We don't have the fucking money. Like, what are you talking about?
We don't have the expertise.
No, well, that too. I had some people reach out like, hey, if you want to do this, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, well, geez, I'd love to. But like, I wouldn't know where to start.
And those
Just
guys,
because I want something doesn't mean I should be the one to do it.
By the way, those three brothers and Dominic before them and all that, 24/7.
Oh, I know.
They work 24/7. Those guys worked really hard. It's not an easy gig. It really isn't.
No.
And so, I bring it back to, this is your opportunity. Go out and get it. Go do it. If you're thinking, listen, nothing against Puckpedia. We really like them. Heart's been great to us, like everybody. But if I'm me and I'm mathematically inclined and I know how to code and I do know all this stuff and I want to make connections and hopefully maybe work in the league one day, although that doesn't have to be your goal, I'd be like, I'm not going to let him have 100% of that market share. I'm going to take 5 from him. I'm going to take 10 from him. I'm going to try to come up with a superior product. Competition is good.
You listening to this right now, who's thinking about, maybe I should do this. The mathematical odds, genuinely and with all intended disrespect, of you being dumber than every one of the 100 and 150 people, between 100 and 150 people in every NHL front offices, the odds of you being dumber than all of them is 0. Do this. The game needs you. Puckpedia, we're rooting for you.
Absolutely.
Anyone else who wants to make their own thing, we're rooting for you. The game needs you, whether the game likes it or not.
I think there's a middle ground that you guys are kind of missing in your discussion there.
What if I just want to yell?
And that's in just like the NHL way back when didn't publish their own stats eventually. Like that wasn't a thing. It was in newspapers and all that. And right now you can go on NHL.com. You can find out how many goals and assists Austin Matthews had, and it's plus minus, and you can see how a team did on the power play and all that fun stuff. And it's available and it's there. It's not great. It's not a good service. I think if anybody's going to look up stats for the league, you go to a place like Hockey Reference, or you go to moneypuck.com, or you go to Quant Hockey, which is a tremendous resource just by their like sorting tools. And I think like there's a middle ground where they could publish the information, but it'd be like very basic. Like what Steve's saying, they wouldn't do a great job, or both of you are saying they wouldn't do a great job on it.
We agree on that.
Yeah, I think if they did it, it would be a very basic version. People probably would go to the independent ones anyways.
Yep.
So
I agree.
I feel like they could do it. It's just it wouldn't be the most. I don't think most people go to NHL.com to even see like a basic how many goals did this team have or who leads the league in goals. They don't go there. They go to other sites. So I feel like it would remain the same.
What would you? I agree with you, Jesse. And what do you think NHL.com's main function is? It's not media. It's probably selling tickets and jerseys.
I don't know the answer to that.
You know?
I actually like
no one. Do you go to the NHL.com for your breaking news?
No,
not breaking news.
NHL.com, I think its best resource is just the schedule. I go there all the time.
And like league leaders
and
stats.
I'll give them 100% credit on this. I use it all the time. The Game Center feature post game. You'll see me if you watch this podcast on YouTube. I bring it up all the time. If I want to replay a goal, they have the goal available. I go to the Game Center where a goal happened, and I click on the goal, and I can see that highlight. I love the shift chart feature. I can see where everybody was on the ice at every moment in the game. There are tremendous resources on NHL.com, so I won't knock them for that.
I will say this as someone who actually had to use it quite a bit in writing my book that's coming out October 15th, Hockey Rants and Raves. Some of the sites, Quant Hockey, Hockey DB, Hockey Reference, have discrepancies in their numbers. And using NHL.com for someone like, pull a name out of a hat, Bobby Orr. For someone like Bobby Orr's numbers, you get to go, okay, well, this is what the league says.
This is the official number. And the subsection of NHL.com that I think you're referring to is the NHL Records.com. Is a tremendous tool.
It's very good.
If you want to look up like who leads all-time assists in the playoffs from this era to this era, you can find that stuff, and they have great sorting tools with the record book. They've done a fantastic job keeping the records of the game of hockey.
They have a good archive. No, it's really useful. The stats section of the NHL's website gets a bad rap. Like for advanced stuff, no, it's not good. I'm open to NHL Edge. I am optimistic that it will become good.
It's a joke, right?
It's definitely not. It's like, sorry, it's definitely not good.
Yeah.
So I'm agreeing with you. But like counting stats and especially like all-time stuff and single season stuff, it's very good.
All-time stats for sure. Current stats, they struggle mightily at that. If you want to sort like just basic team stats, if you go on their team stats page, they're missing like every important category.
Yes.
The sorting function doesn't work on the standings page, but it works on the stat. You can tell I've spent a lot of time on NHL.com looking up stats because that's our job. So I know the details of this. So yeah, there are some good stuff they do good, some stuff they do bad, and there are independent resources and there are the NHL resources. And I don't know, there could be a future where it comes to that with the salary information where it's this basic function that NHL.com has, but like the independent body's always going to be, to Adam's point, they're always going to do it better.
Yeah, because they have an interest in making it good.
Yeah.
So I go to mapleleafs.com for LFRs so that I can isolate every goal. And so I go to their website after every game. And Noah Gregor's signing was the front page story on the Toronto Maple Leafs website, at least on mobile. No, it was on desktop too, for like 4 months. It was crazy.
Because no one goes to mapleleafs.com for news.
Don't.
You go there to get your tickets. You don't even really do that because you go to Ticketmaster and then but you can go through the website. It's not.
You're there to look at schedule and buy tickets, maybe. And
so just don't do it.
Well, also, don't, because first off, the Leafs are owned by two media companies who have a genuine interest in you watching their media brands. Come on, guys. Come on. And then, okay, so the NHL tries to dominate the media space. ESPN and TNT go, why would we buy your rights? That's not their gig. Their gig is the hockey. Their gig is the league.
Great question. Why doesn't ESPN do this?
Because they're a rights holder, and it doesn't help them.
That's the same conversation.
It doesn't help them to help fans understand what's going on.
It's a resource that they're
like, okay,
ESPN's gig.
Yeah,
it's threefold.
Yeah,
television, radio, lesser so now, podcast digital.
Okay,
that's what they do. They don't provide. They're not a resource. They're not an encyclopedia. They're not a resource for anything other than keeping up with the games and that sort of thing. They are not. That is not their mandate. Why would they put money towards that? And again, remember, mega corporation, is this thing that we're going to do support or take away from the share value? We're not asking if it's going to be profitable. We're asking if it's going to help Disney have a good quarter.
So next year, perfect world for the NHL. Next year, I'm an Oilers fan.
Yep.
Okay. My team has less to spend against the salary cap than almost everyone else because, well, I was about to say because they're in overages, but in this scenario, I don't know. Hey, that's bullshit. Why don't the Oilers get to spend as much as everyone else? Oh, well.
That's
I'll just shut up and eat my slop.
Oh, stop.
What do you mean, oh, stop?
Why?
How am I supposed to know the answer if no one will tell me?
There's
yes,
an
but
independent
again,
resource.
perfect world, that site doesn't exist.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
Oh my God!
You think it's
if
better
I'm the NHL, that's the perfect world.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
Oh, Adam,
it's not.
Oh boy,
Jesse, am I wrong on this?
No, Steve, I don't think your scenario where like the NHL I don't think the NHL wishes it would go away. I think the NHL just wants an arm's length away. They don't want anything to do with it. They're allowing it.
It doesn't support their business.
Yeah, I don't.
It makes
I don't
complete sense.
Allowing it to operate.
Yeah, like I think they're just like closing their eyes to the situation. You know,
yeah. Well,
they don't want to encourage it, but they're not going to take it over or anything like that.
Why'd they have a frosty
I don't think
with Cap?
I think
They don't like them.
I think the idea that you think the NHL doesn't want them to exist is incorrect.
Yeah, I would.
I think based on what?
Well,
based on what?
I think if the NHL didn't want them to exist, they'd sue them out of existence.
Yeah.
On the grounds of what?
I don't know. You can find a lot of reasons. There are a lot of lawyers over there.
Mm-hmm. You can
grounds
law
of
somebody
what?
out of business.
Yeah,
Adam, that's a wild assumption.
I don't think it is.
I think your assumption that they want them to shut down in a perfect world, none of that information is out there, is a wild assumption.
No, it's based in I can extrapolate from they had an icy relationship.
Yeah.
It's on more solid ground than they could sue them for what?
You're asking well, because they could say they came by this information. There's a lot of ways, Steve. If you're asking me if the NHL could use its legal might to shut down something it doesn't want, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
It's naive to think that doesn't happen
The
in business
NHL
all the time.
has
That's very weaker ground.
A frosty relationship.
Business is not kind.
A frosty relationship can be as much as how much communication do we have with the NHL? Very little with head office.
Very little.
Right? But we exist. We're not a rights holder. We saw, like in any business, you create something, you hope people latch onto it and see some value in it, and they come to you for that thing. We exist outside of the parameter of a rights holding broadcaster, and we also exist outside of a team, right? So the NHL head office and the broadcasters and the teams are all working together. We're outside of that. We're exactly the main reason that we're in the same game as CapFriendly in that sense.
Should we shut the show down?
No.
Why not? I called Gary Bettman a piece of shit, and they can just sue anyone.
That's not
anything.
okay. That's completely thing, Steve. Come on. No, that's wrong.
No, they can just, if they don't like you,
I don't understand. I don't understand why you need the NHL to do this. Why does this matter to you?
I resent the NHL for resenting it, and they do. They do resent it.
I think that the NHL gives it like 0.0001% of their thought. They're like, okay, it's not my favorite thing, but anyway, I got shit to deal with. I don't even think they register. So Fried saying they have a frosty relationship, it might just be that CapFriendly has tried multiple times to get in touch with head office, and head office is like, we don't have time for that. But that can be frosty.
Yeah, and Steve, there are many teams around the National Hockey League who buy their services. Like,
absolutely.
So I feel like the game, there's like reason there. In the game, they're accepted by a large number of people who work within the league, within the game, and like it's just kind of the league who doesn't care to have them around.
CapFriendly is a side show, just like we are. Sideshow. I don't even worry about that. I got a $7 billion business to worry about. What's most of my business? Ticket sales, corporate sponsorships, and ratings. That's what I do. That's my job. If it doesn't support one of those three pillars, and by the way, the key to those three pillars is an entertaining hockey game, then what am I doing in it? That's their job. That's their business. And you got to know what you are as a business. And the NHL does.
You know what they are? Last.
Sure. And I agree with that, but that's besides the point. And if you're, and I'll tell you this again, if you're mad about this, and I get it, I understand, you have to, the other leagues aren't doing it either.
Yeah.
For the last time, the other leagues are different. The NHL wanted a cap on a cap on a cap. You cannot. Okay, I'm a Vegas Golden Knights fan. I'm 16. And all I want for Christmas is a Marc-Andre Fleury jersey, and that's a safe bet because he just won the Vezina Trophy, and he gets traded for some ECHLer no one's ever heard of. Ideal world, that's not explained. and you don't know why, and go fuck yourself.
You keep saying ideal world. I don't think that's true. And also, like, I think
again, you're talking about that's the media's job.
You're also dismissing
this.
the caps in the other three.
Cap Friendly's the media.
Yeah, so are we.
You're also
they don't want them.
They
is
do
what
want,
I'm getting at.
The NHL does want media. Like, they want people covering the sport. And
no, they don't. But they don't want Cap Friendly. I feel like we're going
They didn't say they didn't want Cap Friendly. They just said they had no relationship with Cap Friendly.
This is yeah, we're just circling this
Adam,
point.
I think you're giving the NHL just an unfathomable amount of trust
as a
here.
business that has next to no relationship with the NHL, not good or bad, just non-existent.
For now, until they sue us.
Frosty.
For nothing.
Frosty could mean that.
Yeah.
We could listen. We make a joke of it, but we could look at all the times we were denied press passes, right, Jesse? How many times have you applied for stuff?
And we got only a couple. I think we got
it
I
for
think it was
All-Star
the
game.
third or fourth time.
Yeah.
And we got approved, yeah.
Great.
It was for the All-Star game.
We couldn't get it for draft,
awesome.
right?
No, we got in there because I was like, hey, I'll come to Sweden. And that went well. And I got like a special in because I decided to fly to friggin' Europe. And then they started letting us in. Without that trip to Sweden, we don't get credentials.
Okay.
I think we still would have got the All-Star game that was here.
Nah.
Like, everybody got in for the All-Star game. It was nice. It was cool. I think we still would have
The point is,
we never got to see
and we don't look at
we
that
didn't
as a
get
Frosty relationship. We kind of make a joke about it because we're like, oh, we're small and they're big. But really, I don't look at it as Frosty. I look at them as like, if they even know who we are.
Yeah, it's the Don Draper thing. I don't even think about you.
Yeah,
like
right?
I think that's how the NHL looks at it. Like they're
Absolutely.
not. They have bigger things. They have bigger fish to fry. And you also, I don't know why you're dismissing
all the cover-up lawsuits, or
I don't know why you're dismissing the other salary caps in the other leagues. Like the NBA salary cap is the most complicated thing in the universe.
Yes.
Like there are guys, depending on how many time you've been in the league and everything, they only fit under one specific salary structure, and it's like impossible to know how to sign guys. And like the NBA would be as like beneficial to have a resource like that on their own. Like I feel like they're apples to apples.
I agree.
Yeah, but no, you said you don't agree.
They ought to have it.
You said the NHL is different. And
well, the NHL is different, but even though they're different, they ought to have it.
In what way is the NHL salary cap more important and more crucial that the fans know than like the other leagues?
Maybe it's not more important. I mean, it's a hard cap in a way that like baseball doesn't have.
Football's cap is bonkers, by the way. I remember when the Steelers had to trade Antonio Brown because he was losing his mind. And they had to incur like $40 million in penalties. I'm like, I don't even understand how that works.
Dead cap deferring in the NFL
is crazy.
Like, it's a crazy concept. And so you did make that point several times, Steve, that the NHL is more crucial that the fans know how this works. I think all the leagues, it's important that the fans know how the salary cap works because that's how you get the players on your team.
You're right. I guess where I say it's more important for the NHL is they got to cross their T's and dot their I's, and they got to roll out the red carpet for fans at every turn because they're the Don Draper, I don't think about you at all. That's just the North American sports landscape,
of course,
at the NHL.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you're absolutely bang on the money on that,
right? So why wouldn't at every turn I say, hey, here's something that could help you. You ought to be doing it. And at every turn they go.
And I think, Steve, if they did it, it would work the way I kind of described it with like the
NHL Edge.
I don't think it'd be NHL. I think it'd be like goals and assists where it's like, hey, the basic information's on NHL.com, but we would still use Cap Friendly.
And we wouldn't have buyouts and we wouldn't have this.
Yeah, I feel like the Cap
NHL
Friendly
is never going to
why not?
No, I feel like Cap Friendly would still be better at it. You know, because they got those guys
better at it, like
Steve,
better at it versus like give a fucking.
Same way other people are better at keeping the counting stats than NHL is. That's the same way it would be.
Steve, question for you.
So I don't know if it makes a real difference.
You're the owner of an NHL team. Okay.
You're
very rich. No, hold on. Listen.
What
you have?
I was just going to turn away from you and not listen.
You have signed a bad player.
Yeah.
Or you've signed a bad contract.
Mm-hmm.
Good player, way overpaid.
Got it.
Then a story comes out and it's from so-and-so in your market.
Mm-hmm.
And so-and-so is a really well-known reporter. Mm-hmm. And this story goes viral because it talks about how expensive and how punishing it would be to buy this player out and they've had bad performance.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find out, and then you find out that the site that you pay into as a part of this league, NHL.com, has allowed this reporter to get all this information.
Is he lying?
You're Steve.
Okay.
It's not about that.
Okay.
It's about
So,
perception.
Let me answer that honestly. Would I be mad? Would I want that out there? Would I maybe even as an owner make some calls to, hey, that shouldn't be out there. Get that taken down. That's called corruption.
No, it's not corruption.
No,
It's
not.
corrupt.
It's not. It's not.
It's not the legal
That's
definition
not-
of
That's
corruption.
not corruption at
No,
all.
that's people defending their business.
But it's the fucking truth. If the reporter puts out the truth and I don't want the truth out there, what would you
why
call
would you
it?
contribute to the reporter having that information?
Yeah, having access to the information.
How about the
is what
owner
I'm talking
fucking
about.
wears the mistake they made?
That's
Oh,
not
no, that's
how
not
things
how that
work.
works.
That's not reality.
Well, there it is. They're weak people.
You're trying to be like, hey guys.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. No, but
I feel like we're agreeing and you're being obtuse
No,
for some reason. I don't
I'm being
understand.
obtuse?
Yeah.
I'm being obtuse.
Yes.
Why am I being obtuse?
What like we seem to agree on what's happening here, and you're like, well, that's not how it works.
But it isn't how it works.
No. Okay, so the person who's in the wrong, the general manager who signed the shitty contract, let's cater to them.
Yes, you know why?
Why?
Because I bought this effing team. I spent my money on this team.
Okay.
I am not out here to fund my
The
team
general manager
that
did not
I
do
put
that.
money into to look bad.
The owner did that. The owner bought it. The general manager manages the team. If you're the owner, wouldn't you want to know if your general manager was doing a shitty
I'm sure
job?
the owner already knows that.
Yeah. They have
Then what's the problem?
The problem is that you don't want the fans
The public.
to make that the story,
yeah.
right? You don't.
Keep them
And,
dumb.
and think about this.
Keep them dumb. High five. Let's go.
That's
Keep them dumb.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Keep them dumb.
But that's what I feel
Give 'em
like.
dumb.
I feel like
That's what journalism is,
Yeah.
right? That's the give and
Right,
take.
and their job as the powers that be is to squash it.
If I work for NHL.com
Okay.
and a player is playing poorly,
Yes.
can I write a story about how bad that player has been?
No, those articles don't exist on NHL.com.
Do they exist on any NHL team site? If Austin Matthews has a bad month, are the Toronto Maple Leafs publishing a story at MapleLeafs.com about how bad
That's
he's
not
been?
the purpose of those websites. That's
Thank you.
That's
it's
not how it works.
promotion only.
It's promotion. Yeah.
There's a difference.
I'm not trying to be
between-
obtuse.
There's a difference between writing an article about, hey, this guy has 20 goals, he should have 40, versus, hey, here's how much they make, and
But it's
that's
the
it.
context in which it's viewed, is my point.
Yeah.
And if there's any chance
Black and
that
white.
you can make my $1 billion investment look bad, I'm not going to be a part of that.
Mhm.
I won't pay in.
That is, Steve, that is the exact reason on NHL Edge you cannot sort by player.
Right.
They do not want you comparing players and say this guy is the least fastest in the league. So that's why they have, you go to NHL Edge and you want to see their speed, it'll say by percentile. This guy's in the 99th percentile. This guy's in the 50% percentile, because they don't want you to laugh at X player on the NHL's own site.
Well, why
and be
stop
like
there?
that.
Why stop there? There's 20 pages or whatever of players' stats. Delete the final 5.
But
Well, that's, I mean,
feel like
didn't Greg write an article? Greg Wyshynski, didn't he write an article about how long it takes to get to the bottom, and it's like hours?
Yeah, delete the bottom
I don't know
5.
about
Yeah,
article, no.
Greg, when NHL Edge was released, he couldn't get to the bottom.
Oh, on NHL Edge?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's no sorting ability.
Yeah.
You can't sort. You can only just go to each individual player. But Steve, I feel like
Isn't that the weakest, most pathetic shit?
but that's how most of like the world works. I feel like your complaint is
Is
like,
that good though?
No,
Yeah, but you can't change
nobody
that.
is saying that it's good. I think you're denying the realities of how these businesses work, and I think your complaint is that you're upset with how the world works, and that sometimes
And that's fair.
guys, yeah,
Isn't that valid?
That's
God damn
valid.
it.
yeah, but that's a
Valid.
that's a
Valid.
different argument than like you getting upset with Adam or I telling you like, hey, this guy who's worth $1 billion is trying to control the things that are said about his team, and
Yeah.
you're like blown away that that's happening. Like, are you surprised that a billionaire is like controlling and doing shady shit and is upset?
No.
Because that's the reality of how most of these guys run their shit. And it's just
How do you
Adam and
think they got there?
Adam and I aren't surprised that they're acting like this, and we're just explaining like, hey, this is why this is working. And you're like, that's goddamn awful. And we're like, yeah, it's awful. Yeah.
But that's when
I'm
you have.
not getting enough of that. Yeah. I'm getting it. Oh.
Yeah.
Like, why fight for the change?
Your expectation here is we're going to scream about the NHL needs to do this, and we're just explaining, hey, this is why it's being done. So we're kind of yelling about two different things. So it's circling a bit now.
Yes.
And I think at the end of the day, in every industry, and the NHL is interesting because it's rare that an industry, like think about the concrete industry.
Oh, geez.
By the way, do you know that there's entire concrete conventions in Las Vegas every year?
All right, I agree.
I have a friend in the concrete industry.
I agree we've gone too far.
Think about no. Listen to me. So with a concrete company, do they have salary? Do they have to publish their salaries?
Adam.
No. And my point is,
is there a salary cap on a concrete company?
What's different about the league
Okay.
is that people actually care what these players make and how money is spent and whether it's spent well or not, because it matters to the storyline of how this team is performing, right?
Yeah, I think this would be valid if you could buy tickets to watch people pour concrete.
I think the point I'm trying to make here is that it's a very unique business, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And you're saying it too. I'm saying it's a unique business, and these guys are used to running very ununique businesses. Look at how they all made their money. Jeremy Jacobs is in like food service.
Ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream. How do you think Jeremy Jacobs likes the fact that he has to publish information for his hockey business that he doesn't for his ice cream business?
Maybe that's why he's so frosty.
So my point, I like this, and I think this is a great opportunity for somebody else to step in and go, this is going to be my thing now. Cap friendly, good for you guys. I'm taking next. And I like that. Now, the Minnesota North Stars, Minnesota Wild. There was a report out there from Iceletics, who do all the jerseys, that the Minnesota Wild were rebranding and that their name may not change, but that they will be going back to the North Stars colors. Michael Russo and team officials have both come out and said that is not true.
Because their third jersey this year was the Minnesota North Stars colors. So it was fantastic. Maddie, if you want to pull it up, fantastic jersey. I loved it. And yeah, Iceletics was like, hey, they're in 25-26. They're rebranding to these colors. And then everybody in Minnesota and associated with the team and all the reporters are like, no, that's not based in fact.
What's interesting about that is not based in fact could mean a lot of things. No, we're not doing it is one thing, but not based in fact could be, it's under consideration, but we haven't made the call. So maybe they're looking at it. I don't think this came from nowhere.
I think maybe they're just coming out with another alternate jersey with those colors. And maybe like Iceletics, somebody leaked to them and they're like, hey, look at these third jerseys. Yeah. They're the colors. And maybe they're like, oh, maybe that's going to be the home jersey. And they kind of maybe extrapolated. But I feel like they're just going to go back to this as like a third, which would be cool, which isn't like a rebrand. But
I like those jerseys.
Yeah.
I like the heartbreak on Twitter right now.
Well, Iceletics is usually pretty good.
They are.
So
that's why I think
there's probably just a third jersey again.
Yeah, the Wild thing,
26 season.
Not based in fact.
I think it's interesting.
Maybe.
So Michael Russo says further, the Minnesota Wild have no plans to rebrand. They do plan special things during their 25th season in 25-26 to pay homage to their history. Of course, keyword is their history.
So, interesting.
So it'll be Parise and Suter jerseys for everyone.
The Boston Bruins this year, they wore that other Bruins jersey all season long, right? For their anniversary.
Yeah.
The bear one. I assume like something like that's coming along for the Minnesota Wild.
And will they apologize to Iceletics when they turn out to be right?
No.
But that's not the way it's phrased is like the rebranding of the team. You know, it's like we're going back to these colors. These are our colors. Yeah. And that's different than reporting like, hey, in our 25th anniversary season, we're going to wear Blue Huskies Raptors jersey.
Yes.
You know, like you got to, and that's different than saying the Raptors are going blue, which is kind of what the Iceletics team did here. The Wild are going yellow and white and light lime.
Maybe
green.
they changed their logo.
Maybe
I like maybe it's of a cat jumping out at you.
Yeah.
You know,
and breaking a stick.
Exactly. The Panthers look at breaking the stick with their teeth.
Yeah.
And the shirt. And it's blue and white with a white stripe underneath. Like the Lightning. The Leafs.
Minnesota Wildcats.
Oh, I like that.
I honestly like we all want.
The thing I can't believe about this is the Minnesota Wild are going to be 25 years old.
Right. Yeah.
God.
What are you talking about? What are you even talking about?
Who's got more playoff series victories over those 25 years? The Leafs or the Wild?
Easily Minnesota. Yeah, easily.
Over the 25 years?
Yes.
Yeah? Is it easily?
Well, okay. What was the first year?
Yeah, you guys are like, oh,
No, okay. They had one conference final berth,
I'm gonna,
which might be enough.
I'm gonna count. So you guys are just talking. I'm gonna count them
Because, okay 20,
and then give me
they
your.
were in,
so
they were in 99, 2000.
sort
That
it
was
out,
the first year, right?
And then come up with your answer, and I'm gonna tell you the right answer.
All right.
So it's 99, 2000.
I believe that was their first year.
Oh, that makes it tighter. Oh, that makes it tighter.
Because the Leafs had the conference finals in 98, 99.
Yeah, which
and then second
wouldn't fall
round-
into this.
Second round, 2000, 2001, it was second
So
round.
just so you guys know, the first year the Minnesota Wild existed, 2001.
The Leafs never had a less than second round in that Pat Quinn era before the salary cap.
Yeah,
they were always minimum in the second
They
round.
just kept beating the Sens.
Yeah.
So 01, I think they won once. 02, they won 2 series.
Because they were in the conference finals.
03, they won 1 series. 04, they won 1 series.
And then didn't win again until last year. So 5.
That's so bad.
Uh-huh.
So 5.
Yep.
We already know in, I think it was 2003, the Wild went to the Final Four. So there's 2 right there.
But like they were a one and done team how many times?
Yeah.
And I have no idea how many times, but for most of the Parise Suter years, post 2012 lockout,
they beat the Avalanche, who went on that ridiculous run, the Patrick Waugh coach run.
the 13-14 ones where they were like the worst analytics team of all time and they finished first and then we're out in 5 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 3. This shouldn't be as tight as it is.
The Leafs are so bad.
I know.
And so, you know what? Listen, and so too are the Wild in playoffs.
And then
at least they were in the playoffs, though.
COVID that's just a black hole in my mind.
I'm going to say...
What is your
I'm gonna
official
say
answer?
Wild have 6, Leafs have 5. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm going to say 5-5 tie.
The correct answer is the Toronto Maple Leafs have won 5 playoff series
We were right
Okay,
about that.
we got it.
since the 2001 season. The Minnesota Wild have won 4 playoffs. Neither of you got that right.
Wow. What are the years the Wild won?
In the history of their franchise, the Minnesota Wild have only won 4 playoff rounds. They have not won a playoff round since 2014-15.
Chalk Fletcher should go to jail.
They've gone 1, 2, 3, 4. They went actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's 9 straight years not winning a playoff series. And they won in 14-15. They beat the Blues in the first round. 13-14, they beat the Avs. And then before that, 02-03, they won two rounds, and then they lost to the Ducks in the conference finals. And that's it.
In the worst playoff series of all time.
Terrible.
In
So-
2003.
I remember that.
They didn't score until the 4th game.
Since the 2003 season, the Wild have only won 2 rounds. 2 playoff series, I should say. There you go. So, yeah, not a great playoff history in Minnesota.
That's
in the
crazy.
franchise history.
4-5.
13 playoff appearances in 24 years, 4 round victories.
They gave 196 million to Parise and Suter.
They got him a couple playoff wins, right?
2 playoff series wins.
What year did they give that contract?
That was right before 2012.
Yeah,
2012, yeah. And the next 2 seasons they won 2 playoff series, and after that, boom.
Man,
Jail.
who could have predicted that having too much money wrapped up in a couple superstars would lead to your doom? Who could have seen it coming? Not me.
Only one time since the 14-15 season have the Wild even forced a Game 7.
Oh my God.
Which one was that?
The Golden Knights in 2021.
Wow.
Which was even like...
That's a series I don't
They
even
played
remember.
a 7-game series against
Don't remember a single thing.
2021?
Yeah.
COVID should go to jail too.
Yeah. Don't remember it. Don't care.
Damaged my brain.
I want to ask you guys this. We don't have time for it because we got to do our VIP episode. But I need Steve. So we had, remember when Lane Lambert was hired by the Leafs?
Yes.
And I was like, Steve texted me later that day, Jesse. And he said, I'm doing research for my Lane Lambert video for Steve Dangle channel. And I regret to inform you that you're wrong about Lane Lambert. And I was like, okay. So I'm excited to be wrong, by the way.
Yeah.
Thrilled about that. can we get, not only did you get a breakdown on the Steve Dangle YouTube channel, but can we get a breakdown that goes a little more in depth in this show, a little bit about why?
Sure. You want that today or
not
you want
today?
That
I want that
time?
Friday.
Okay.
For homework.
Yeah, I can do that.
You can do that?
I hope I didn't delete my notes.
I hope
Let me
you didn't
check. I hope I didn't delete
because
my
I
notes.
think it's important that
I still got them. Let's
as
go.
many Leaf fans who are sad and scared about our defense next year hear about this. And he's not an assistant coach. He's an associate coach.
Yes. So it's funny. I texted someone, Andy Graziano, who we've had on the show before to
Good
talk
guy.
about Tavares signing way back when. And because I was able to find Lane Lambert's specific duties in Washington. I wasn't able to find them with the Islanders. And he goes, well, that's because he didn't have them, which I thought was interesting. Assistant coaches tend to get assigned things.
Mm-hmm.
Associate coaches, it's a little bit more free flowing. But your little teaser for Friday is Lane Lambert teams tend to not allow a lot of goals.
There you go.
There you go.
I like that. I like
Sounds like the Islanders.
All right.
Last thing to close out, because it happens tonight, so we got to get into today's show. There is something amazing happening right now in the Calder Cup playoffs. The Coachella Valley Firebirds are sitting pretty. They're in the Calder Cup finals, and they're waiting for their opponent, which will either be the Hershey Bears or the Cleveland Monsters. The Hershey Bears in the Eastern Conference finals of the Calder Cup playoffs were at one point up 3-0 in their series against the Cleveland Monsters.
Oh.
Tonight, they will be playing game number 7.
Oh.
And in game number 6, oh baby, did we have an adventure, because with 49.3 seconds remaining, the Hershey Bears, who I mentioned were up 3-0 in their series, took a lead. A 2-1 lead in the game with 49 seconds left.
They took the lead with 49 seconds
They took the lead. They went up 2-1 in the game with 49 seconds left. And what happened? With 17 seconds left, the Cleveland Monsters came back and scored the game-tying goal.
Then
Ended up winning game 6 in overtime.
You're kidding.
The Hershey Bears tonight are on the verge of blowing a 3-0 lead, and not only a 3-0 lead in the series, but a 2-1 lead with 49 seconds remaining in game number 6. So there is some big drama happening in the AHL. I'm excited to see that game tonight and see who comes out on top and who faces Coachella Valley in the finals.
Who's the star defenseman for the Cleveland Monsters right now?
That's the Capitals farm team?
Hershey is
No,
Capitals.
Hershey
Yeah.
is. Who's Cleveland?
That would be Columbus.
Columbus?
David Juracek.
Hey! Noted Allen Walsh client.
10 points in 13.
He's having quite the playoffs right now. And maybe he leads this improbable comeback for the Cleveland Monsters, and they end up in the finals. And we'll see what happens against Coachella. I think Coachella is gonna take it because they are very good, and I believe this is second straight year they're in the finals.
Isn't their coach Corey Clouston?
I don't know. We're going way too deep now.
Who for Coachella Valley?
No, not Corey. Who's the guy who just got hired to be head coach of
Seattle? Yes, he is the head coach now. He is coaching Coachella, and yeah, once he's done this, he's gonna graduate to the Seattle job. I forget his name.
Dan Bilesma.
Dan Bilesma, yes. Corey Clouston. I don't know where okay.
I like that.
What a walk-off that would be.
Right?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah? That'd be pretty cool.
Except for
what?
What do we know about the Calder Cup?
Calder Cup means nothing.
Adam, who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for noted Alan Walsh client David Juracek. Go Cleveland.
So you want the impossible to happen?
I do. And you know what? I want something nice to happen to the Columbus Blue Jackets franchise, the worst run in the league. They're going to get Don Waddell this year, which will help. But that is a poorly run organization, and their fans deserve way, way, way better. And I think it would be nice if Cleveland won.
Yeah.
There.
I feel like bad for the Bears. Like, I never want to see a team blow a 3-0 lead, and then like that's historic stuff in sports. Blowing 3-0 leads, it happens so rarely. So
you know what?
I hope Hershey closes it out.
Maybe it's karma
for buying CapFriendly.
Yeah. It's karma.
There it is.
That's that. We were all done wrong by the Hershey Bears, and that's who we're taking it out on.
And it's embarrassing blowing a 3-0 lead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's embarrassing blowing a lead with 49 seconds to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should keep it a secret.
Okay.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.